Hello, and welcome back to Retrieving Sanity with your podcast host Keegan. And this is your podcast for all mental health, addiction, recovery issues, and topics. And I've got some questions for you. Are you worried about your fertility? Are you stressing too much about something that seems way out of your control? Have you tried a few things and already ready to throw in the towel and call it good? Well, don't do it just yet because tonight's guest is a pioneer on a mission to rewrite the fertility narrative. With 2 decades of experience as a double board certified naturopathic endocrinologist, she's helped thousands of couples conceive through holistic, drug-free methods, which she's now trained hundreds of doctors to do the same. She's the founder of the Holistic Fertility Institute, best-selling author of Fertility Secrets: What Your Doctor Didn't Tell You About Baby Making, and host of the award-winning podcast Egg Meets Sperm, and also the visionary co-creator of the Madre Fertility app. So, Dr. Atma, how are you? Oh, I already messed it up. I am terrible with names. I should have already given you that disclaimer.
All good, Keegan.
Well,
Thank you so much for having me.
of course, it's so good to have you on. So real quick, just to clear everything real quick, again, how do you pronounce your first name? Because the spelling just throws me off.
Yeah, it's all good. It's Aumatma.
Amatma. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I will do my best to keep it in my head, but I am terrible with names.
All good.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you from, and how did you end up becoming like the fertility doctor?
Those are great questions. I currently live in Houston. I'm
Okay.
from all over the place. I feel like I was born in India. I grew up on the East Coast. I probably spent the majority of my time in California,
Hmm.
actually. And then
Ah,
we just moved out here not too long ago.
okay.
And I got into fertility because I was married to this man who wanted to have children. And every time he mentioned babies, my uterus freaked out and was like, oh God, no, no, thank you. And I didn't realize it until we had already gotten married and were on the path.
Hmm.
But what I realized was my intuition was just very clear that I was not meant to have children with this person.
Oh, wow.
And everything that I had learned about fertility was like, oh no, it's going to drop off of a cliff. So
Huh.
if I'm not having children with this person, then what am I doing? And what can I
Yeah.
do to maybe have children someday with the right person?
Hmm.
So that's really how I got into it. And when, of course, me being who I am, I was like, well, let me research this. And sure enough, like, found a lot of evidence that what we are told as women
Hmm.
about our fertility and about our bodies is that there's an age related decline that's
Hmm.
usually like starts in our mid 20s, late 30s, early 30s, and then it kind of just keeps going down, down, down.
Hmm.
And what I've found is that, of course, there's an age related decline, but when
Uh-huh.
we look at true age related decline only,
Hmm.
that decline is only like 3% from
Hmm.
what studies show.
Really?
And the other stuff that we think is age is actually our diet, our lifestyle, the way we live, the lack of exercise, the crappy sleep that we get, the
Uh-huh.
fact that we're on screens all day long. Like those are actually having a pretty significant effect. So I
Huh.
said to myself, well, if that's true, then I can just do what I can do and then see what happens. And
Yeah.
I ended up having a baby at 38, got pregnant on the very first try.
Nice.
But it was a lot of like, I'm gonna click all of these things in place even
Hmm.
before I'm ready because I know that I don't want to have children with the person that I'm with. It
Hmm.
was a very long, drawn out divorce, and then
Uh.
like finding someone after that, and then I
Mm.
wasn't even sure if he would want to have children. So there was a lot of things up in the air that turned into like, yeah, this I can do this, but
Uh.
what gave me that faith was really understanding that what we assume to be truth around our bodies is not actually based in any data. It's
Hmm.
really based in myths that were created in the 1800s,
Huh.
not by science, but by churches. that
Huh.
noted that women were not coming to get their children baptized after the age of 35. And that's really where that myth comes from.
What? Are
Yeah.
you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Huh.
It was hilarious when I found it because then I was like, wait, what? Like everything I believe and have learned just crumbles if
Huh.
that's what it's based on.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Huh. That just throws everything I knew into a loop, and what I knew
Right.
wasn't that much. So I can only imagine how much you knew or thought of what you knew and everything, and
Mhm.
it's all not really quite what we thought, right?
Yes, exactly.
Huh.
Exactly. And then I think on the flip side, like men often get the message that their fertility is going to be good forever. And that's
Mm-hmm.
also not true, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have these dynamics that we've created in society, and a lot of that is like women bear the burden of fertility and reproduction,
Mm-hmm.
and men are like, oh, you're not part of the equation, you're just like a sperm donor and your sperm are good forever, so we don't have to worry about it. But the reality is like sperm in the last like 70 to 100 years are on a
Mm-hmm.
massive decline.
Hmm.
Count, quality, and like morphology, which is
Uh-huh.
the crux of like how good the quality is.
Mm-hmm.
Those things have been on the decline for the last 70 years or
Huh.
so.
Wow.
And that decline is pretty drastic.
Is it
So
really?
yeah. So we have like lots of men in their mid 20s where you should be at like peak fertility
Mm-hmm.
are actually seeing massive issues with
Mm.
fertility and reproduction
Uh-oh.
because sperm health has been on the decline and no one is flagging it, right? So
Yeah.
it's like a little bit of a weird conundrum when you have one half of the population that believes it's always their fault and
Mm-hmm.
they're being reinforced that with our society, science, culture, all of it.
Yeah.
And then the other half that almost never is asked to take responsibility, but are actually in kind of a scary place
Mm-hmm.
with what's happening with lots of data. Like we
Yeah.
have so much data about sperm, and we know that this decline is happening at a much faster rate than anticipated.
Hmm.
So we're at a precipice where in the next like 15 to 20 years we really need to make a drastic change
Huh.
in the way that we think about conception, fertility, what happens to
Yeah.
humanity's future, like all of that is on the table.
Yeah, that's a pretty scary subject to kind of think about, and especially in that regard too, right? Because it's like exactly what you said. If it's not taken care of, then we just decline naturally in a really kind of crappy way, if you ask me, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So first of all, let's break something down. You actually went through your own fertility scare and worries and everything, so you know
Yeah.
what it's like to actually have that mental strain
Yep.
of sitting there going like, "Is this worth it? Or am I even capable of it?" And so on and
Yes.
so forth.
Yeah.
And so you know the personal aspect, and you've done all this research, and now you
Mm-hmm.
can also sit there and say like, "Our future is not doing the best." If
Mm-hmm.
if everything keeps going the way that it is.
Yeah.
So I guess the first question I really have is how do you think that we battle it? Is it starting with the couples themselves and then hoping it just spreads from there?
Yeah, I for me, I think it's multiple layers that need change, right?
Okay.
So,
Mm-hmm.
of course, what's in our control is just our locus of control, ourselves and our partners and our
Mm-hmm.
relationships.
Yeah.
So, I think if we look at that aspect, then we have to think about like what is it that I can do to take the power back?
Hmm.
Because a lot of the anxiety, I know this is true for me and for a lot of my clients, is if we don't feel like we have power in a situation, we don't have control,
Mm-hmm.
that's what feels the crappiest, right? That's when
Yeah.
anxiety surges, that's when depression is the highest, is like
Mm-hmm.
we feel like we have a loss of control and we really want the thing that we think we want, right?
Yeah.
Like especially when it comes to babies, like people are not messing around, especially women. They're like, I want my baby and I want it 3 years ago. And I'm like, I cannot go back in time. So literally cannot happen and cannot help you there. But like when we realize like, oh, this is actually in my control.
Mm-hmm.
And there are very logical, very like low hanging fruit kind of steps that I can take that are going to move me in the right direction if I'm in my preconception period where I'm not necessarily thinking about it, but it's in the back of my head like, yeah, I should probably start working on this soon. Then there are steps and things that I could be doing that do not require a lot of money. They don't require a lot of resource. It really is just intention and attention. And if we can give those two things to our fertility journey, then voila, we are that much better off. Then the second place that we can gain control is on the actual fertility journey. So when we start out, the thing that doctors tell us, and I was told this myself, is that you have to give it 12 months of consecutive trying before we test you for any issues that might be going on.
But so you're saying a whole year of trying?
Yes. So tell me how that's not anxiety provoking for a couple to be like, we're trying for 12 months, a whole year, before the doctor is actually going to do some tests and figure out if there's an issue, and then we figure out what steps to take, right? Like it's the most backward scenario that, and it's the only health scenario that is backwards. So I don't know of any other. If you went to the doctor with, oh, my chest hurts, they're going to do testing. You're not leaving the hospital without testing.
Yeah.
So like your stomach hurts, you're like, here, take antibiotics or something. But oh, I want to have a baby in the next 12 months. Oh, great. Well, try for 12 months and then we'll see if you have a problem.
Yeah.
It's the bizarrest, weirdest thing to me.
Yeah.
So
that's really strange.
tell me about it. So I went through this myself. I literally like argued with this doctor for about 45 minutes trying to get her to order me testing so that it can get covered by my insurance. At the end of the 45 minutes, she's like, listen, I get that you're a doctor. I get that you want this testing. I am not going to order it in a way that insurance will cover it. If you want it, you can pay for it out of pocket and it'll cost you $2,014 or something. And I was like, okay, well, you should have just told me that in the beginning because I wouldn't have, I would have saved my 45 minutes. Like, you're totally not paying $2,000 for this. And that was the point at which I was like, okay, we need a different system and we need a different way that gives people back the power, right? So if doctors aren't going to order this testing, if insurance isn't willing to cover the testing, then guess what? We just need to do it ourselves. So two things happen simultaneously. One is that there are labs and companies that we can go self-order. There's a lab that I'm not affiliated with. It's called Modern Fertility. For like $157, you can do the basic testing.
No, that's
that
nothing.
At least that at least gets you out of the gate, right? Like it's not everything under the sun, but it's not bad. It's like a really good starting point. And then the other thing is what I've been working on for the last 3 years, which is an app that basically like can assess and analyze what you tell it based on the algorithms that we've created, and within like 90% accuracy predict what potential obstacles or what potential things are happening that are going to get in the way of your future fertility. So
that's really cool.
It puts exactly. So my goal was like, how do I get the control back? So if we can empower people with knowledge, then I think that's the antidote to feeling hopeless and feeling like, oh my God, no one's on my side, right? Like I just want a scientific way to be like, here's what's actually going on. Focus on that. Don't worry about what you're hearing.
Yeah.
Um, so this app basically for essentially for free can help you assess what's going on.
Hmm.
And then if you want to follow the protocols and things like that, there's fees for that, but
Okay.
you can get started essentially for free.
Huh.
And the app will tell you, oh, you have gut inflammation, you maybe have a thyroid issue, you should probably
Hmm.
get tested for that, and maybe you have PCOS.
Huh.
And those are, and we're like 2 weeks from the male version of this, so
Oh
we'll
wow.
have even for men kind of an analysis tool to help them understand if
Hmm.
their lifestyle is conducive to their fertility.
Yeah.
So essentially, like, those are avenues that we can go down
Uh-huh.
to get that, get the power of, hey, I know what's happening for me and I don't
Hmm.
have to wait for some doctor to tell me. I could just
Yeah.
figure it out and take steps so that I'm not wasting an entire year
Hmm.
of something that I already expected to have happened.
Yeah.
And that's the part that's stressful for most women, is like the instant that a couple decides that they want a baby, they think
Hmm.
it's going to happen that day. Right? Like,
Yeah.
we decided we want a baby and we're going to get pregnant like yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And that's just not how it works. So
Mm.
understanding the science and understanding our own physiology is like, in any given healthy cycle, meaning
Hmm.
a woman is perfectly ovulating and her hormones are amazing and there's
Hmm.
no underlying issues and she hasn't been on birth control for 10 years. In that scenario,
Hmm.
with a man who has amazing sperm, the chances of getting pregnant in a given cycle are 23%.
Whoa. Really?
Yes. So
It's
all the things that have to perfectly align in the universe for
huh.
us to conceive, it has a 23% chance of happening on its own in any given cycle.
The
Crazy.
yeah,
No one
yeah.
ever tells us these
Yeah.
things.
I was just about to say, like, why is it that I was raised with the fact, not even, well, it was essentially a fact, like,
Yeah.
if you're not
Yeah.
super duper careful, it's going
You're
to
gonna,
happen.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. And it's
Huh.
like, it is, that's the message that I heard. That's the
Uh-huh.
message that so many of us have gotten. And that's the lack of our education system that
Mm-hmm.
isn't actually showing us the reality, because what they're thinking is, oh, we don't want these middle school and teenagers getting pregnant, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's
Mm-hmm.
prevent teen pregnancy. How
Yeah.
do we do that? We scare the crap out of them. We tell
Yeah.
them the instant you look at a woman, you're going to get her pregnant. So don't do it.
Yeah.
But the reality is, like, that's not true. It's
Yeah.
not going to happen. And
Huh.
it's unfortunate that that never gets unlearned, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
we think that we can keep on with that philosophy, but
Mm-hmm.
that's not the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So if we understand like how much has to perfectly align in order to get pregnant, then
Mm-hmm.
we wouldn't expect it to happen the very first time. It would be a miracle if it did.
Yeah.
You like, and I know what I had to do to have that happen on the very first try.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's a combination of miracle, science, and knowing my body so freaking well that I knew exactly when I was ovulating. And that's not the case for most women, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
the only reason I can do that is because that's what I do for a living.
Yeah.
So it's not uncommon that it takes a while for
Mm-hmm.
people to get the hang of it and the understanding
Yeah.
and really the feeling of like, oh, I get it. I get what it feels like when I'm ovulating. I
Mm-hmm.
understand. I get when when I should be trying.
Uh-huh.
So all of those things are very real.
Yeah, yeah.
The problem is that our medical system isn't designed to educate. It's only
Mm-mm.
designed to medicate.
Yeah.
So if we cannot get that education from our provider,
Mm-hmm.
then where are we getting that education? And
Mm.
that's part of our mission with
Mm-hmm.
the Madre Fertility. That's the app that I was talking
Uh-huh.
about. That's the same, like, moving forward through that process is like, okay, let's get you educated on what
Mm-hmm.
your body's doing. what sperm are doing, how these things need to align, what ovulation looks like, how to figure out when you're ovulating,
Mm-hmm.
what window of time do you have. Most women are like, I'm ovulating now. Get home right now and perform and get me pregnant, damn it. And that's also like that's a stressor on the guys. Like
Mm-hmm.
guys hate it.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
we've worked I've worked with so many couples and every guy will be like, "Can you please tell her to stop doing that?" Like I cannot perform the instant she tells me it's time.
Yep.
Like I don't have any issues the rest of the time, but the day she's ovulating, I can't. I just can't do it. And I'm like, this is totally normal. The amount
Uh-huh.
of pressure that men are being put under because the
Mm-hmm.
woman doesn't really understand. No one has educated this couple on what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
She can't.
Yeah.
So what we do is like when we're working with people actively,
Mm-hmm.
we're training the guys to understand what ovulation looks like in his partner.
Mm-hmm.
And the men can then be like, oh, I'm in the driver's seat. I'm going to
Yeah.
determine when we're going to initiate.
Uh-huh.
And it's not on her to figure it out. And
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely not her job to be like pressuring me into
Mm-hmm.
sex to
Yeah.
have a baby.
Yeah.
So I will take care of it if I know what I need to do.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. Like when they take that over, they're like on it. More women will get pregnant that way than with the woman controlling her partner. So, magic, amazing.
Yeah. Who
So,
knew?
yeah, exactly. So this is what I love to do is like really get to what is the problem? Like
Mm-hmm.
why are these things the way that they are? And I think that so much of it is the lack of what we need to be happening in society and then
Mm.
no one ever fills those gaps.
Yeah.
So I think that, you know, I think that there's a lot that we can do along the way,
Yeah.
but these few things of like understanding if there are any blocks in
Mm-hmm.
your fertility, understanding that you're not going to get pregnant on the first try, so
Mm-hmm.
stop thinking that way, but instead like really plan it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah, yeah.
if someone comes to me and says, "Hey, we want to have children a year from now or two
Mm-hmm.
years from now." That's my like dream one day, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
that's what I want to do is
Mm-hmm.
how do we prep you for a year from now instead of we wanted this 3 years ago and now
Mm-hmm.
we're at the end of our line and what can you do to help us, right?
Yeah.
So if we can change that dynamic and get people thinking like, hey, this is something I plan as
Mm-hmm.
much as at the minimum, like however long I plan my wedding,
Uh-huh. Oh,
right? I'm
yeah.
like, if I
Yeah.
plan my wedding for 18 months, I'm giving myself 18 months to plan my conception.
Ah, that's a good way to look at it.
That's fair, right?
Yeah,
Like if
yeah.
you can plan a 1 day wedding for 18 months,
You should
you
be.
can plan your 18 years for 18 months.
Yeah. That's a really good way to put that. That
Yeah.
is a really, really good way to put that.
Yeah. And then the last piece is, I think, just realizing that both partners play an equal role.
Mm.
And there isn't just, it's not a one sided situation.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, we see that there's some minor things on the female side, there's some minor things on the male side. If we
Mm-hmm.
can get both of those to click together,
Mm-hmm.
the fertility problems go away.
Yeah.
So, in 85% of the time, that will work.
Oh.
So, if we can optimize both sides of the equation, we get there
Mm-hmm.
faster and
Okay.
it's less of a struggle. So,
Yeah.
that's for the people that start trying. It's like, okay, let's get both of you tested. And many, many, many women still come to me and are like, can you just work with me? It's not him. And I'm like,
Mm.
yeah, sorry. Sorry, not sorry. And
Oh, really?
goodbye.
Huh.
Like, there is no world in which I only take on one partner. And like
Ah.
recently, I actually had someone reach out and was like, do you do male fertility? Can you just work with my partner? And I'm
Mm.
like, yeah, that's just not a thing. Like,
Yeah.
there's no one side of the equation. So you
Mm.
guys both have to do the work together or
Ooh.
we're missing the mark.
Yeah.
Um,
I really like that.
Yeah,
Because you're actually entailing that it is a partnership through and through. It's not
exactly.
on one person entirely, and it's not a and I imagine you do that because it doesn't really isolate the person and add more stress to the other person,
Mhm.
possibly. Huh.
Mhm. Yep. And like you're creating a family together,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yeah, yeah.
unless your goal is, hey, he's going to be a sperm donor and then he's going to act like a sperm donor for the rest of his life, it's probably not a good way to get started with baby making. And like most women will not sign up for that on willingly, right? If
Mm-hmm.
they knew like the way he shows up on the fertility journey is going to be the
Mm-hmm.
way that he shows up in parenthood,
Mm-hmm.
then we would ask for more. And
Yeah.
then the sad part of it is that men actually want to show up more.
Oh
That's
yeah.
the crazy part.
Huh.
There's very few men that when they truly get it, when they're like, "Oh, this is both of us." As
Mm-hmm.
soon as that clicks, he wants to show up. He wants to
Uh-huh.
show up for him. He wants to show up for the future baby, and he wants to show up for his partner.
Huh.
So, like, I don't see very many guys that are like, "Oh yeah, I'm not doing anything. I'm perfect the way I am." And as it's just like getting it. It's the part of, hey, I know you were told your sperm are amazing,
Mm-hmm.
but you were told that based on an idea that you're probably going to need IVF.
Mm.
And your sperm are not amazing for natural conception. They're
Mm.
okay
Mm-hmm.
for IVF.
Mm.
And once they get that, they're like, wait, what? What does
Huh.
that mean? Like,
Yeah.
my sperm are not actually great. And
Yeah.
I'm like, no, here's what the optimal looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're far from optimal, then
Mm-hmm.
sorry, you got some work to do.
Yeah.
Uh, so as soon as they start seeing the numbers and like what's optimal, what's normal, why were
Mm.
we told what we were told, then they start just waking up to the fact of like, oh, I have so much work to do.
Mm-hmm.
And these are all the things that I could be doing to
Yeah.
show up better for my
Mm-hmm.
future child and the family that I say I want.
Yeah.
And then the guys that don't show up, we're like, hey, you want to have a baby? Or is that just not a reality? And
Yeah.
some guys have been like, actually, I'm good. I don't want a
Mm-hmm.
child. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, you want to still have a child with
Yeah.
this man? And the
Mm-hmm.
woman's like, I don't know. Do
Yeah.
I? I'm like, no. The right
No.
answer is no.
No.
So
Yeah.
I think it's and like I hear it because I know I've been through that. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you're when a woman is in that kind of relationship and has to make a decision of like,
Mm-hmm.
do I have a child with the wrong partner?
Mm-hmm.
A partner who's not willing to show up, a partner who's not doing his part and not like the protector, provider, the masculine energy of our family unit,
Mm-hmm.
then um, I have seen what that looks like.
Yeah.
And when a woman is in that decision making process,
Mm-hmm.
she's like literally like, do I just settle or
Mm.
do I wait for
Yeah.
the right person?
No, you never
And
settle.
never settle. That's I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But I think it's hard for some women. And I think it's
Mm.
sometimes the desire for a child far outweighs the desire for a
Mm.
relationship. And in
Ooh.
those contexts, it might make sense. It might
Yeah.
make sense for someone who is maybe at the end of her road that is
Mm.
doesn't have a ton of time left, who's
Mm-hmm.
like, well, this man's willing to give me his sperm, so I'll go
Mm-hmm.
for it. Like, I do want to
Yeah.
have that child more than I care if this
Mm.
relationship lasts. But for women who have options or
Mm-hmm.
women who are not at the end of the road,
Uh-huh.
I'm always questioning, like, is this what you want? Is this what you really want? And
Yeah.
most of the time they're like, yeah, I should probably expect more. I
Mm-hmm.
should probably like put myself to a different standard
Yeah.
and expect my like I want to live my best life, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you choose from that place, but at least you don't choose from fear. And that's
Mm.
what I'm very clear on, right? Like
Yeah.
anytime we make choices out of fear, we're
Mm-hmm.
choosing the wrong choice.
Mm-hmm. That's a really good way to put that.
Yeah. Yeah. So if our whole world is focused on, oh my God, I can't have this thing that I really, really want.
Mm-hmm.
And like what can you do to make it happen? And when it comes out of that anxiety, fear, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, I'll do anything. And it's a lot of people are getting taken advantage of in that
Mm.
world.
Yeah.
So I am like, I'm sorry. The answer is no.
Yeah.
And I
Huh.
know you don't want to hear it. And I know that you don't. And like I have a real life case of this about
Uh-oh.
6 years ago. I was
Mm-hmm.
talking to this couple who I had only met the woman, which already like red
Uh,
flag number
yeah.
one. Which after like now I will literally never accept anybody without meeting the partner. But here we
Yeah.
go. So I had talked to her. She was like, "No, he's fully on board. He'll be there for the first appointment." Blah blah blah.
Uh-huh.
I was like, "Okay."
Uh-oh.
This man shows up, all of his blood work. He had about 6 medical conditions off of the labs that I was looking at, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just basic labs. So
Oh,
the fact
jeez.
that I was like, he has hyperhomocystinemia, hypercholesterolemia, fatty liver disease.
Oh,
Like I could
man.
just go on and on, right? Like major diseases off of
Yeah.
his blood work.
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh, he's about to die. Then I get on the call with him. I'm seeing him on Zoom, and I was like, he doesn't look very healthy. That's not good. Like his skin was yellow, his eyeballs, like the whites of his eyes were
Mm-hmm.
yellow.
Uh-oh.
Um, there were a few things that, like, even via Zoom, I could tell like this is not good.
That's not good.
And I was like, okay. So I'm asking him questions and I'm like, how committed are you? Are you
Mm-hmm.
going to make the changes that you need to make? There's a lot of things happening. Like, we're going to need some major lifestyle changes.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me in that conversation, he's like, he smokes like 12 cigarettes a day, drinks 3 to 5 glasses of alcohol, like hard alcohol per day.
Mm.
He smokes marijuana and he eats a completely like animal diet. Like he doesn't eat a single vegetable.
Oh boy.
And I was like, we don't need to test your sperm. Like, I'm not sure you're going to survive for very long. And are you willing to change whatever we tell you?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, absolutely not. I will quit the marijuana. Everything else stays as is.
Oh
And I was
no.
like, oh no, you're fired.
Yeah.
Fired. I was like, get your wife on the call. And I was like, you lied to me. You said he was on board.
Yep.
He is not on
Nah.
board.
Uh-uh.
We cannot move forward. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but this is a no. I'm giving
Mm-hmm.
you a full refund. I don't want any responsibility. I don't want any part of this equation. And
Jeez.
she's on the phone crying and like, no,
Mm.
you have to work with me. Like, you're my last hope. The
Oh.
fertility clinics won't work with us and this and that. And I was like, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
No, like,
Yeah.
I'm not taking responsibility for this. This is
Mm-hmm.
not on me.
Yeah.
And she was really distraught. And
Yeah.
it sucked to break her heart. But I was
Mm-hmm.
like, uh, at the end, I was like, in all honesty,
Uh-huh.
can you envision a future with this person? And
Mm.
if you can honestly envision a future with him and
Mm-hmm.
your future child together, let me give you the name of someone else that you can work with. It will
Uh-huh.
still not be me,
Yeah.
but I can give you a referral.
Uh-huh.
But the reality is, like, no amount of work on you is
Mm-hmm.
going to fix what the problem is here.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
And like the epigenetics that gets passed down, a lot of it is through the father.
Mm.
So if the genes are
Mm-hmm.
mutated in a
Uh-huh.
way, which like we didn't do any of the epigenetic testing on him, but I can tell you it was not good.
Yeah.
His lifestyle just was it. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
no way that any of that was good.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're going to pass this on to your baby. So
Mm-hmm.
your baby is going to have a much higher rate of alcoholism, diabetes,
Mm-hmm.
liver issues, like literally everything that he has going on,
Yep.
you predispose your child to. Like that child can be
Not
having
good.
all of those diseases before the age of 10,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not good.
Yeah, no. Uh-uh.
So is that what you really want to sign up for? And she was like crying and crying and yes, I just want to have a child. I just want to have a child. I was like, listen, you're 34
Oh
years
man.
old.
Uh-huh.
You get yourself out of that relationship. Find yourself someone healthier,
Yeah.
someone who is willing to be on board and alive
Yeah,
for
right.
longer than the course of your child's life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you want a father that's going to be there.
Yeah.
And she
For
was
sure.
like, okay. You know, and she did not keep in touch because I'm not
Mm-hmm.
always I like tell it as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
sometimes not in the nicest way, so she might have taken offense. But
Mm.
you know, I truly believe that my job is not to have people be happy that they had a baby or that they got
Mm.
pregnant, which a lot
Okay.
of people's goals is like, I just want to get pregnant. I just want to get pregnant. And I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
care if you get pregnant. You want to have a healthy baby at the end of this.
Yeah.
And that's what we're in it for, is like, how do we support the healthiest baby that you guys can create together?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a very different vision from, I got a positive pregnancy test. um, because that's not actually what you want. You say
Mm-hmm.
that's what you want because
Yeah.
if you've never been pregnant, it like
Mm-hmm.
is satisfying in some way that you got a positive pregnancy test. But in reality, like let's aim for a healthy baby.
Mm-hmm.
And if we already know that you can't have a healthy baby because of the things, because of the lifestyle choices of one of the parents,
Uh-huh.
then we can't support you. Like
Yeah.
that's not saying true to our purpose and our
Mm-hmm.
mission on this planet.
Yeah.
Um, so
That's one way to think about it. Looking at creating the whole future of the baby, and everything before even having the baby. You know,
hmm
because that is one thing a lot of people probably don't think about, and that's what am I going to pass on to the kids, or what is my partner going to pass on
hmm
to the kids,
hmm
and I think that's one thing that also maybe stops a lot of people too. So man, you just do a lot of really good work. And like one of the things that really blows my mind though has to be the fact that it's backwards. Whenever you go to the doctor and they say try for a year, it's like, well, don't you think we would have done that before we came here saying we're having problems? Like,
hmm
are they asking for video proof or something? Like, that's weird.
That would be hilarious. No, they're not. And the funny part is, it's like there are some people who will lie and
Mm-hmm.
say, yes, I've been trying for a year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. Like we've done all the things. Now
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
But I think it we should live in a society where we don't have to lie to our provider, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. For
And
sure.
there's no way that they can verify it. They're not in
Mm-hmm.
your house. They don't have video proof. But they go off of your word.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think like yes, I think we have it all backwards. Like
Yep.
why do we have to lie to them, and
Mm-hmm.
why can't we get support before we get into like
Mm-hmm.
before we start having issues?
Yep.
And there are some like clear signs and symptoms that
Mm-hmm.
I think are always red flags
Okay.
that require immediate attention.
Like what?
And for on the female side, that's really easy. We
Okay.
have a period every year, every month
Mm-hmm.
that tells us the state of our internal health.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like a report card, if you want to call it that, right? Like, I don't really like the report cards, but
Yeah. You don't want
um,
to get all A's on that one.
you may not get all A's. But I think that we're often told as younger women, like,
Uh-huh.
oh, cramps are totally normal. PMS
Mm-hmm.
is normal. Migraines are normal. It's normal to feel crappy for a whole week of your month.
Mm-hmm.
the reality is none of those are quote unquote normal. They're
Huh.
common, meaning
Oh.
a lot of women have those experiences in
Mm.
menstruation or
Uh-huh.
while menstruating, but they're not normal. And
Yeah.
that's where, like, in a healthy, optimal, hormonally cycling female,
Mm-hmm.
she should have a 2 to 5 day bleed
Hmm.
without any overt symptoms. And I say
Okay.
overt in the sense of like, if you have a 1 or 2 out of 10 cramps, like, okay, that's
Uh-huh.
relatively acceptable. But if
Mm-hmm.
you're doubled over in pain, which was true for me when I was a
Mm.
teenager, when
Yeah.
I started having menstrual cycles, I would have
Mm-hmm.
7 days of a headache
Mm.
during the 7 days that I was bleeding,
Oh.
doubled over in pain because I also had cramps.
Ouch.
And all of that,
Mm.
add to my parents believed that I was making it up. So I
Oh.
still had to go to school.
Oh no. Oh.
And it was the worst experience ever. But
Oh.
that's not normal.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to the doctor. My mom took me to the OB,
Mm-hmm.
and the OB was like, "Well, it's normal, but I can give her birth control to get rid of it."
Oh, yeah,
And
no.
and my dad was like, "Absolutely not. No, you
Huh.
will not have birth control. Like that's not happening."
Hmm.
and and then I like found the bottle of Advil and I started like ODing on Advil every
Oh, jeez.
cycle. Every
Oh,
cycle I
no.
was like, I just have to pop the Advil to survive. And then my dad was a pharmacist, so he knew
Oh,
what
no.
Advil does to your liver,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Which is not good things, you guys. Like if
No.
you're listening and you're like, what does Advil do? It's
It's not
not good.
good.
It destroys your liver.
Uh-huh.
So my dad was like, I'm sorry, you're doing what? And he like took all the Advil bottles in the house, dumped them into the toilet bowl, and
Oh,
that was
man.
it. Like he was like, you will never be seeing those pills again. Like you're done. And I was like, what do I do? How am I
Yeah.
gonna survive? And I made it through high school.
Uh-huh.
And when I got to college, my diet changed
Mm-hmm.
and I stopped eating a lot of the dairy that I
Mm.
was eating
Mm-hmm.
earlier, like where how I grew up.
Uh-huh.
And the dairy was part of why I had those severe cramps
Mm.
and cycle pains and migraines.
Uh-huh.
And then I was brought up vegetarian, which I'm still partly I'm vegan.
Yeah.
But I was brought up in a way that didn't really understand what deficiencies were coming out of that.
Mm.
So as I learned nutrition science, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh, I'm super depleted in iron. Like I just need to dose iron
Uh-huh.
regularly so that I
Yeah.
don't get depleted. So
Mm-hmm.
the headaches went away.
Ah.
So it's like so many young women are told this is
Mm-hmm.
normal. It's okay to have it's okay to be in pain. You're
Mm-hmm.
fine. Tough it
Mm-hmm.
out or take some birth control. And neither one of those solutions are great solutions.
Mm-mm.
By the time we get into our mid 20s and mid 30s,
Uh-huh.
we potentially have or continue to have all of the same symptoms that we started with. And
Oh,
if
man.
we were put on birth control, which a lot of my clients are,
Mm-hmm.
then let's suppose like an average of 5 to 10 years of birth control.
Uh-huh.
If they were put on that birth control early in life,
Mm-hmm.
meaning in their teens,
Uh-huh.
then it actually disrupted the development of our endocrine system.
Mm.
So we not only were masking the issues that we had,
Mm-hmm.
our endocrine system never got to fully develop.
Oh,
So
man.
when we get off of the birth control,
Uh-huh.
often all of the same symptoms come back with
Mm.
more rage and more fire,
Yeah.
unfortunately. And at that point, the we're still telling women like, "Oh, it's okay, just keep trying. You're
Yeah.
fine. Just try for 12 months." To me, I'm like, well, if a
Mm-mm.
woman is having symptoms, she has irregular periods, she
Mm-hmm.
has extreme pain with her menstrual cycles.
Uh-huh.
If any woman is doubled over in pain,
Mm-hmm.
like that deserves testing. We
Yeah, yeah,
deserve
yeah.
to know what the heck is happening
Mm-hmm.
because you shouldn't be in that much pain.
Oh, hell no.
And so there is no way to assess for stuff that could be happening until it's much later in the process.
Hmm.
Whereas we know statistically, the
Mm-hmm.
two most common issues leading to fertility struggles
Uh-huh.
are endometriosis, the biggest
Mm-hmm.
sign of which is extreme menstrual pain and extreme pain with sex potentially,
Mm-hmm.
and potentially like stomach and digestive discomfort while on a menstrual cycle. So those are the
Mm.
three like triggers that if someone
Uh-huh.
comes in with one of those, I'm like, oh, we got to check for endo
Yep.
or endometriosis. Sorry,
Uh-huh.
that's my lingo.
No, no,
And
you're
then
good.
the so 1 in 3 women with endometriosis will
Mm-hmm.
struggle with fertility.
Mm. Gotcha.
So it's extremely important that those women get screened
Mm-hmm.
adequately, quickly, and
Mm-hmm.
not wait for the 12 months to conceive because
Yeah.
they probably won't. And if they, by some
Mm.
miracle, get pregnant, the
Uh-huh.
chances of a pregnancy loss are way out of the off the charts.
Whoa.
So, it's just not a good thing.
Mm.
And here's you're gonna love this. 10 years on average is the amount of time that it takes an endometriosis person to get the diagnosis of endometriosis.
Oh no.
10
Uh,
years.
yeah.
So put all that
Jeez.
together. Like, that's not a good scenario.
Uh-uh.
The other, which is actually way, way, way more common in our population, it's like
Mm-hmm.
40 to 49%, I believe, is the stat, is like 49% of the average menstruating female population has
Uh-huh.
something called PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome or
Mm.
disease.
Mm-hmm.
And that is of the that population, one
Mm-hmm.
in two of those women will have fertility issues.
Oh man.
And the biggest sign of that is
Uh-huh.
irregular menstrual periods.
Mm.
So if you have a cycle that is 17 days, and then the next one's 42 days, and then the next one's 60, and the next one's 28, and you cannot predict when you're going to menstruate,
Uh-huh.
that is the biggest sign that you may have PCOS, and
Hmm.
you should not wait one
Mm-hmm.
year of
Yeah.
trying to get pregnant. So
Yeah.
those are the two that I'm like, there is no excuse for
Mm-hmm.
those women not to get testing out of the gate because all of those signs and symptoms are big red flags and they're big red flags concerning fertility specifically.
Mm.
Everything
Yeah.
else, you get a pass. But those two things would cover, honestly, like 60% of the population would probably need testing out of the gate that they're not getting
Mm-hmm.
because of our system and because of the insurance companies saying, "Oh no, we're not paying for that testing until you have tried for long enough."
Wow. Oh, jeez. So it's really up to the insurance companies that the doctors have to ask the weird, awkward
Yeah,
question, huh?
basically. Yes.
Okay.
Yep, that's how our system works.
Yeah.
Insurance companies and guys in suits make the decision about healthcare,
Women. Yep.
and
Especially,
especially women.
yeah, it's so stupid. Like, me and my partner have had to go through some stuff lately, and we came across what could be endo diagnosis as well.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
there's one morning she woke up with belly button blood, and that was
Oh,
weird. Yeah,
yeah.
we were like, okay, that's a first for the both of us. So and yeah, getting all of that figured out has definitely been a challenge of
Hmm.
sorts, but it's good to know that it's not too scary, I guess.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it is one of those things that if it takes someone 10 years to get that kind of diagnosis, then that's 10 years of suffering, that's 10 years of questioning, and
Yes.
that's 10 years of delaying any kind of productive, like, treatment of any kind
Mhm.
towards them, even if it's
Yeah.
something that's not like we know what for sure what it is, but it's like, hey, we can at least start treating something, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Absolutely. Just like really I think that there's just so much more support that can be
Mm-hmm.
offered
Yeah.
way sooner. And unfortunately, like endo is kind of a tough scenario and
Mm-hmm.
it is tough to diagnose,
Mm-hmm.
but it is not it's not so impossible. There was a time when, and this is in my career, so just in
Mm-hmm.
the last like 20 years, um, we have gone from the only way to diagnose endometriosis was laparoscopic surgery. So they
Mm.
literally just had to open you up and see what's happening.
Uh,
And that was not fun.
yeah.
Like, it was not fun to tell women, like, I'm sorry, you might have endometriosis, and this is the only path to diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
Sucked.
Yeah.
But now, like, there are several different ways that we can get to that diagnosis without laparoscopic surgery.
Mm.
And one of those ways is almost as simple as a pap smear. Like, there's only a select number of doctors in the country that offer this test.
Mm.
But if you can find a doctor near you who offers that test,
Mm-hmm.
then it is simple. It's like an
Uh-huh.
in office, you're in and out in like an hour or
Huh.
less. And it's a relatively easy diagnostic
Uh-huh.
procedure. So that's
Okay.
one option.
Uh-huh.
And then the other is there are endometriosis specialists.
Mm-hmm.
So this has to be done through a specialist. Do
Mm-hmm.
not go to a regular doctor that's going to do an MRI. But there are these endo specialists that can do an MRI
Mm-hmm.
and within good reason of certainty come up with a diagnosis of yes, you have it, no, you don't,
Mm.
and are relatively accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the reason it has to be a specialist is there's a lot of things that it can mask as,
Oh yeah.
right? So you can have like random stuff happening and they're like, oh, that's endo. And then you have a misdiagnosis by mistake because you
Yeah.
didn't go to the right person.
Yeah.
So I warn against that just because it needs to be like such a specialized thing.
Mm.
But certainly like much better options than the surgical option,
Yeah.
which has, you know, kind of a tough ish path to recovery. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
so yeah, I think one of the newer tests is great and is offering is like such a better path
Mm-hmm.
to getting the diagnosis and then being able to move forward and like say, okay, I have endo. What do I do about it? How do I fix it?
Yeah.
The cool thing is, or not the cool thing, but a lot of those women are told, I'm sorry, you have endometriosis. You can never have a child.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of gets paired together. And the same with PCOS. It's a
Yeah.
lot of like misnomers about
Mm-hmm.
fertility. The
Yeah.
reality is 100% of PCOS women will go on to have a child
Mm.
with the right
Okay.
support.
Yeah.
That's the big
Huh.
part is like with the right support.
Yeah.
Almost all of them can get pregnant and about like 70-80% should be able to conceive even with endometriosis
Mm.
given the right support.
Okay.
So a lot of what these women are told is, I'm sorry, this is going to be really hard. This may
Mm-hmm.
never happen for you.
Uh-huh.
Um, but the reality is it can happen. It just needs some good support and good process along the way to address what's really happening under the surface and
Yeah.
help to like um we like with the endo people that we see, it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of multifaceted in terms of affect supporting the immune system, supporting the hormones, supporting the
Mm-hmm.
gut health, which has a tie to the immune system.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of getting at all the root causes of it can really turn it around and have those women be able to have a healthy, normal pregnancy.
Yeah. That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of misinformation almost about fertility on both sides of the aisle whenever it comes to just the reproductive health of people, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because I know that for here in the US, sex ed, it maybe starts in middle school and maybe have another session or two in high school, depending on the schools you go to, and then that's it.
Yep.
And so a lot of us found out a lot of that kind of stuff through the internet, which that's its own bag of worms right there. So,
Yeah.
um, one of the and so you're actually like kind of bridging a weird gap, right? You're
Yeah.
bridging that gap where there's supposed to be a huge amount of like village information,
Hmm.
because back in the day, whenever we were less city like and we were more in villages, I'd guess, or just close knit communities, I'd say everyone would be able to tell the upcoming generation, like, hey, this is kind of what's going on, this is kind of what to expect, and they would do it in a more realistic manner, I would think, because no one's trying to make money off of getting old, or at least back then. I don't know, maybe they were, who knows. But you're having to sit there and you're covering up a bunch of like almost forgotten space, it's kind of
Hmm.
weird.
Hmm.
um and so, real quick, with that being said, do you think that you'd be willing to come back on the show for round two? Because there's a lot in here that I wasn't really expecting to hear. Too well, that's the thing, right? Like, I didn't know too much coming in, but now I have more questions. But they're all for like just trying to help out everyone else, because
Yeah.
it goes way more than just mental health and the fact of like, can I conceive or not? It goes into
Hmm.
the whole mental health of, well, this is what I was told for all these years, and now it's not really entirely true. So how do I navigate this? And my partner doesn't really want to navigate it the same way that I do. So how do I do that? So you're actually
Yeah.
handling a whole bunch of mental health on top of just people being people. So
Yeah.
I would love to explore all those rabbit holes with you,
Yeah.
because that's a lot of really interesting and very impactful stuff too. It's not just something that is like, oh, someone could just be like, oh, that doesn't involve me whatsoever. It's like, oh, it does. It does.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. I would be happy to.
Sweet. We are right out of time. Well, almost out of time on this. But before we do anything, where can people find you if they have any questions about anything fertility related?
Yeah. The best place is Instagram at Holistic Fertility Doctor, or
Okay.
check out my podcast, Egg Meets Sperm.
Okay. And I will make sure to include all those in the episode description with this. And I'm trying to think. I know we have a game show that is kind of newer to
Hmm.
everything, but we did go over the time limit for that.
Hmm.
But it's because we are just really in we're just diving on into everything mental health and fertility related. And there's
Yeah.
a lot. There's really a lot. So there's no way that I don't think we could tackle the whole thing in just one episode.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Especially
fair.
one
I think
hour.
we're just going to need more time.
Yeah. But I do have one question for you, if you don't
Yes.
mind.
Yeah.
Um, so, uh, Amatma, did I say that right? Doctor
Yeah. You
Amatma.
did. You did.
The name of this podcast is Retrieving Sanity, and we explore how all facets of living life impact mental health. Looking at the incredible motley adventures of your life, what does retrieving sanity personally mean to you today, and what's one practice or perspective you believe is crucial for anyone on that journey?
Retrieving sanity to me today is with a 7-year old. I think just making sure that he doesn't drive me crazy. And I think, and I will always, I swear by this, I always go back to high quality sleep being the foundation for all of our health, mental
Mm,
health, physical health, reproductive health, you name it. Like everything is better if we get good, high quality sleep. So I will stand by that. That
awesome.
is what I do to maintain my sanity.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Atma, for that, because I can agree that good quality sleep is huge to mental health, and I can only imagine having to keep on top of a 7-year-old. So,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to our next conversation, but I'm super grateful and honored to even just have you on this episode, because I've learned a whole lot. I know my audiences have learned a whole lot, and they've even had some of their mental health put to ease whenever they're
Hopefully.
thinking about fertility, because you just blew a whole lot of misinformation out of the water and just replanted it. Well, you don't replant, anyways, you know what I'm trying to say.
Planted new seeds,
Yeah,
hopefully.
yeah,
Planted
there we
new
go.
seeds.
There we go. So misinformation is the weeds or whatever. There, yeah,
Yes,
that's it.
yes, yes. That's a good analogy. We're working with it.
All right. Well, for that, I believe, are at the end of this episode. So, again, thank you very much, everyone out there. Thank you for listening to Retrieving Sanity on WDJY 99.1 FM. And as always, love yourself, love others if you can, but you got to love yourself first and try to be a good person. It's not that hard. Relax a little bit, breathe out before you breathe in if you got to relax, and just have a good day. So, Dr. Atma, anything else you got for the audience?
No, I love it. Thanks for having me, Keegan.
All right. Thank you very much. Y'all have a good night. Shalom Gafal. And stop.